welcome again to Deanna and the Written Words. And today I am doing my plans for September. So this is going to be a TBR for the month, but also a kind of objectives or goals of videos to do and the kind of things that I would like to discuss during the month of September. So what do we have? There's a couple of things that I already talked about in my August wrap-up. So we have that I would like to read Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, which I didn't get last month. This was a book club that was happening at work, but I didn't get the book in time, so I didn't do it. And then the other book I've had for ages, meaning to read, and heard really good things about it, and I love science books, and I think it would be a very interesting story as well that we all should know. And this is The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot. Henrietta Lacks was basically robbed of her cells, and her cells were capitalized in a really crazy way. Everyone in science that has worked with cell lines from humans has worked with her cells. So there's been millions and millions of experiments done with them, and yet she didn't get anything from them. So I think this is going to be a really good read. So I always intend on reading it and then it doesn't happen, but at some point it will. So there's those two books that I didn't get from last month. And then what else do we have? We have The Count of Monte Cristo. That is a read-along that started in August, but it's happening over the month of September as well. So I should be finishing that this month. I'm really enjoying it. And so I can't wait to see what happens next. And this is a read-along happening in Instagram. I will leave the organizers below, and who knows, maybe they'll do other read-alongs in the future. So stay tuned for those. And obviously, well, I didn't say, but this is from Alexandre Dumas, and I'm reading the original French version, which is Le Comte de Monte Cristo. Then I am participating in another read-along, which is for a book that I'm going to count as my books around the world for Germany. And this is the Buddenbrooks by Thomas Mann. This is a family saga that follows the demise of a wealthy German family. And I think it happens over a few generations as well, so I'm imagining that we get to know the family quite well, and also the historical context that I believe is towards the end of the 19th century. So this is organized by Club Pickwick, which is a Spanish reading club that I learned of through Margarita Jostierno's booktube channel. And but they have their own Instagram, so I'll leave that down below as well. And I don't really know much about it so far. This is the first read along that I participate into with them, and but I know that they have been posting a lot of information on the author, historical context, and the text itself, and so it seems that there's a lot of work done behind it. I think that might be a very riveting experience if everyone is participating like I have seen so far. I said I am counting these as books around the world for Germany. So even though Germany is not a new country for me to read from, I have only got the recount of books about the Holocaust. So I feel like it's a good idea to get other historical contexts of Germany. But not just that, I really enjoyed my read-alongs of last month, and I am currently enjoying the read-along of The Count of Monte Cristo. So I want to get that experience again with a different group of people and seeing how it goes. I think the format is also slightly different. I have Our Prison's Obsolete by Angela Davis, which I started last month, and we are finishing in 2 weeks in a group organized by one of my friends. About prison abolition, and this is a close group of people. We entertain the idea of expanding it and making it open in the future, but so far I'm just telling you what we are reading at the moment, which is this one. And then another book I have for this month is Shackles and More Gripping Tales by James Hanna. So this is one that I got from Voracious Readers only. I mentioned them in my how I get cheap and free books. So I'll put the card here and down below if you want to know more ways to get cheap or free books. But I actually haven't used Voracious Readers Only. So I want to get the experience this month, and then I'll be able to tell you more about it. And yeah, I'll have also a new book read from me. So Shackles and Other Gripping Tales is a collection of short stories, and is described as very dark. And what does it say? Darkness, humor, and cryptic light. And it has been classified as literary fiction. So that is all I know about it. I have never read by James Hanna anything, but let me know if you have and what thoughts you have about any of his other books, or if you have read Shackles and Other Gripping Tales. I believe this is going to be a fairly recent read from him, because it was put in Voracious Readers Only, so I assume that that means it's fairly new and it's not known by many people, but who knows. If you've read it, let me know. And then my biggest theme for September, not only from what I would read if I get to it after the books that I've already mentioned, but also the videos that I'm going to make, are videos about Catalonia, Catalan authors, and Catalan life as depicted in books. So why is that? That is because the 11th September of all days is the National Day of Catalonia. So let me take you onto a short history lesson. At the beginning of the 18th century in Spain, there was a war of succession between the Habsburg family and the Bourbon family. The Habsburg family was more liberal and would have allowed Catalonia to keep their laws and their constitution, and in other terms, more independence from the rest of the country. Whereas the Bourbon family was a lot more centralist, and therefore would have repressed the powers that Catalonia had gained through the years. What happened was that in 1714 the Habsburgs lost, and Barcelona in particular was taken by the forces of the Bourbons, and as a result all things Catalan were repressed. And so Catalan peoples celebrate that day. I'm guessing it's like joy in the face of adversity, and the 11th September is a day of joy and a day of celebrating all things Catalan. And therefore I have chosen the month of September to bring you recommendations of Catalan authors, to talk about certain books of Catalan authors. I'll particularly emphasize those books that have been translated into English, because after all, this is why my channel is in English. This is one of the reasons anyway. And in more general terms, in my channel, I will try to give you a sense of what is Catalonia like, and of books that show Catalonia, and of really good stories by Catalan authors, even if they don't directly show Catalonia. And so in light of that, a few books that I'm thinking of reading, but this is an open list, I will see what I get, is my 3 books from Mercè Rodoreda. We have beginning of her career with Aloma, middle with La plaça del diamant, and end with Mirall, trencat. La plaça del diamant has been translated into English as Diamond Square and as The Time of the Doves, and you have it available in archive.org. We have Pedra tartera from Barbal, and this has been translated into English as Stone in a Landslide. We have a book by the sister of a friend of mine. This has not been translated, but I will tell you about it because it is in particular about life and customs in Ibiza, where I am from. And then we have Angelets by Isabel Clara-Simó. I will have a look if this has been translated or not, because this is a very well-known author. So I'll put the title somewhere if it has. And this is a short story collection of stories about children. I don't know if it's going to be gritty or joyful. It could be either, it could be both. I have never read from this author, shocking. I also have Farsa from Màrius Serra, which was translated, and the title in English is Farce. So I might look at that. And I also have The Little Prince, which I have in a few different languages, but two in particular are Occitan and Catalan. So I might be comparing those to the French original, to the English translation as well. But not only that, but I want to bring you recommendations of books that I've read in the past, recommendations of books that my friends have given me of Catalan authors, and sort of just maybe putting them in an historical context, books about particular times of Spanish history seen from the lens of Catalonia. And yeah, I am looking forward to that. It's a bit of a project that I want to do over the month of September. So to be honest, I don't know how much time I'll spend in doing that and how much time I'll spend in reading. I'll try to keep a balance as usual, but this is the type of things that you can expect from my channel and from my wrap up at the end of the month. So I hope that you find that interesting. I hope that it's something that not many people have done, and so I am putting something on the table that wasn't there before, and I hope that you will find them enjoyable, and maybe you'll even learn something. Who knows? I'll probably learn a lot by doing research for those videos, so I am personally looking forward to that. So let me know what plans you have for September, not just in reading but in life in general. I personally feel that September is always an in-between month. It's not summer, it's not quite autumn yet, at least not in many places of the world. It's starting to be a bit like autumn over here, but it's not October where I try to focus my reading on thrillers and horror leading up to Halloween, and it's not Christmas, obviously, so we don't have that kind of feeling and that hope that comes with the new year. So September is always a bit like a downer, I think, personally for me, but I am glad that I came up with this project of mine, and I think I'm going to really enjoy it. Remember to like this video if you liked it, consider subscribing to my channel, consider commenting on anything that you find commentable about this video, and I'll see you next time.